Have you ever stared at your resume or scrolled endlessly through job postings and felt like every option was both meaningless and yet somehow terrifyingly important? The job applications pile up, the interviews blur together, and deep down, a question haunts you. What am I supposed to do with my life? We've been handed a myth, the myth of the perfect trajectory, the idea that somewhere hidden beneath layers of resumes and career guides is the single golden thread of our purpose. We spend our youth searching for it, our hands aching from sifting through the sand, only to realize there is no thread, no map, and perhaps no treasure chest at the end. We are simply adrift. The modern career path isn't a map. It's a labyrinth of endless options, each one promising fulfillment, but leaving us feeling more lost than before. In the echo chamber of what ifs and should be's, we become prisoners of the future. We look at our lives as a series of checkpoints, the internship, the promotion, the title, and lose sight of the present. This isn't just career confusion. This is an existential crisis. Existentialism begins exactly there, in the uncertainty, in the ache of not knowing. It doesn't hand you a map. It tells you there is no map. And that is, strangely enough, its gift. Most of us were raised to believe there is a path already carved, a dream career, a calling waiting to be found like treasure under the soil. But existentialism whispers a different truth. Existentialism, at its heart, is a philosophy about freedom. Jean-Paul Sartre famously wrote that existence precedes essence, which means we are not born with a fixed purpose, stamped onto us like a job description. Instead, we first exist, and only later, through choices, through action, through risk, do we create the meaning of our lives. But here's the problem. Freedom is heavy. It feels less like a gift and more like a burden when you're standing in the middle of infinite career paths. This is why career confusion feels so crushing. We are waiting for the world to reveal an answer, when in reality, the world is waiting for us to decide. The fear, the paralysis, the anxiety, all of it is the weight of freedom pressing down. Not the freedom to pick a job from a menu, but the freedom to shape who you will become through your choices. This reframes career confusion not as a failure to find your predestined role, but as a confrontation with your own limitless potential. You are not born a doctor or a graphic designer. You simply are. Your essence, what you are, is not something you discover. It is something you create through the choices you make. The question isn't what job is right for me, but what choices will create the person I want to be. Existentialism calls us to stop looking for external validation, the job title, the salary, the approval of others, and instead to act authentically. This isn't about being a perfect hero. It's about being a real human, warts and all. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, staring down. You're terrified not just of falling, but of the fact that you could jump. That raw possibility is both beautiful and horrifying. Career confusion is a modern form of that dread. The sheer weight of options paralyzes us. But existentialism does not leave us here, drowning in choice. It challenges us. We tell ourselves, society expects me to become this. My parents want me to pursue that. The algorithm says this career pays best, but when we blindly follow, we are lying to ourselves, pretending we don't have freedom, pretending we're just characters in someone else's script. Confusion is not failure. It is the sign that you are awake to your freedom. To feel lost is to sense the vast horizon of possibility. Every choice you reject, every door you close, gives weight to the one you choose. The meaning isn't in the title, but in the act of choosing and then owning that choice with honesty and courage. Career confusion is not the enemy, it is the doorway. On the other side is not the perfect job, but the chance to live with intention, to build, to create, to say, this is mine. This leads us to Albert Camus and the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus is condemned by the gods to forever push a boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down. It's the ultimate example of a meaningless task. But Camus, in a beautiful act of philosophical defiance, argues that we must imagine Sisyphus happy. Your career might feel like pushing a boulder up a hill. You work hard, you achieve a goal, only to find another challenge waiting. The existentialist answer isn't to find a different hill. It's to find the meaning in the act of pushing. The meaning is in the conscious, deliberate effort, in the responsibility you take for your life and your labor. It's about being present and committed to the task, not just the outcome. You can choose work not because it's the right one, but because you will make it meaningful. You can shift paths, reinvent yourself, and start again not as failure, but as the very expression of human freedom. So, next time you feel that gnawing sense of career confusion, pick up a pen and start writing your own story. Don't ask what you should be, decide who you will become. And in that terrifying, beautiful act of creation, you'll find not a career, but a life worth living. If this spoke to you, let it linger. Then share it with someone who might need to hear it. Subscribe and join this space where we wrestle with the questions that make us more human. Until next time, keep choosing, keep creating, and remember, the blank page is waiting for your hand.